for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, and now, we have to have a motion to adopt the agenda. Who would like to make the motion? Don't be shy. Nada makes the motion. Who seconds?
I'll second.
Terry seconds. All those in favor of the adoption of the agenda? Unanimous. Okay, we don't have any minutes from the previous meeting because we didn't have a quorum. So we couldn't hold the August meeting. Public comment, anyone have any comments to make?
Did we have to vote on the July minutes? Because we didn't vote on the.
Yes, probably. I didn't think of that.
Yeah. All right, so I make a motion that we have months ago read the minutes and it was put out to you if anybody had an objection, I changed it. So I would like to make a motion that we adopt the minutes from the July meeting.
Accept, I guess we accept, yeah,
Thank you.
all right. A second, do it with Netta seconds. All those in favor? Okay, good. Those minutes passed. Thank you for bringing that up, Netta. Public comment? Anyone? You're very quiet tonight, Joanne. You're
No,
now.
this time my yard sale coming October 5th.
Yeah.
She's getting a booth for a table. The table. So if you now come support us.
All right.
And what are you looking for a thing?
October.
Are you looking for things for your table, like donations?
I thought you weren't doing a table this year.
What?
You're not doing a table this year, right?
I might do.
You are doing a table?
I want to have a table for me.
So you're not looking for anything though?
No, but I mean,
Oh.
anybody here could get a table. I'm
Right.
just Selling my junk.
Yeah.
But I wasn't taking stuff from anybody.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right. I was, yeah, October 5th.
Okay, we'll move on to the director's report, which we have a lot to
Yeah.
cover.
Yes, all right, okay.
Starting with the August one or?
Yeah, I'll start with August. So in July, we obviously kicked off with all of our summer reading programs. We had great turnout for these programs. We had 489 participants in all of our July programs for children's, which I thought was great. We had a very healthy teen volunteer group of kids this year. So over 79 volunteer shifts were filled. Our movies on the lawn for Lion King had a great turnout. Our movies on the lawn for Labor Day weekend, which was a rain date, actually had a 35, which I thought was good for a holiday weekend.
Yeah,
And our last movies on the lawn is this Friday, September 13th. It's going to be Kung Fu Panda, and it's going to be hosted by Joanne and Mike. So thank you so much for supporting the event and making it happen. It's really nice. So many people are still surprised that it's free. I had someone last time come up to me and say, where are the tickets? How much do I owe you? And I said, oh, this is a free event for the community. So they were very excited to hear that information.
great PR.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. What else did I want to talk about in July? I didn't have stats for you because, as you know, we transitioned to our new integrated library system, and they're still getting their footing in terms of stats. Once I have those stats, I'll share them with you. Those are the typical stats of how many card holders did we get, how many items circulated, etc. So
Amanda, could you just give us an idea of the difference between this platform and the previous one?
sure.
What
So
advantages there are?
the advantage is that it's web-based, right? So previously we had to buy licenses and it was very expensive, and we were able to only give it to a certain number of people who really needed it. But
So it's what you call open source?
yes, it's open source, correct. So it's open source, and now there's okay. Oh, there's one more chair in the
Chair
back.
over here.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, there you go.
So it's open source and everyone has a login. Everyone has the opportunity to log in and which is helpful for me. It's more mobile friendly. It allows everyone to have equal access and there's no charge for that. There are some downsides, with any software. No software is perfect. Since it's web-based, it can be a little slow. There's a little bit of a lag. But I think everyone's been doing such a fabulous job catching up to speed and the patrons wouldn't know that any of this is going on because everyone's been so well trained. Circulation has done a really great job making sure everybody's up to snuff with using it. So I'm really excited about that piece of it.
And it's the
Absolutely.
same interface. I haven't.
No, it's a completely, so it's not public facing. It's only staff facing.
see.
So it's, there's the public, the only thing that changed for public is anyone who gets a new library card, the PIN is different. It's not the last 4 digits of your phone number anymore. It's a little more complex for safety reasons.
Right.
So, but we share that with them and we explain to them. And what's nice is now they have the ability to change their own password. We would just send them a link and they change it and that's it. So that's one of the advantages
Does that
there.
mean I can change my PIN now?
Correct, you can.
It's for a phone number I don't have anymore.
Right, yeah, no, you can do that.
You
So
can do what?
change your
change-
own PIN to
Oh.
log into your account. We advertise our museum passes. In July, we also got a new museum pass, the 9/11 Museum. We got a discounted group rate through our CLS. So that's another one that we're going to be adding to our collection shortly for circulation. So that'll be nice. In July, Elizabeth got a press release out about Melissa's collaboration with Monroe Pediatrics, which was the newborn kits. They've already replenished it twice. And she's working it into her budget for next year so that we can kind of disperse it throughout the year and not just, twice. But it's a great way for new parents to get information about being a new parent, getting information about the library as a resource for them from day one, so hopefully, we're still trying to find that, how do we get them in piece, but it's still such a great service of all of the resources and materials we're able to share in those newborn kits, to the parents.
That's terrific.
Yeah. So moving on to August, my September report, we finished out the summer. And again, our numbers were strong in August. We had 199 children attendance for our programs. You'll see that's an uptick from last year. Last year was 146. More opportunities for take and makes. So for those of you who don't know, a take and make is a craft where they can just take it with them. They don't have to do it at the library. They don't have to sign up. So, if you have those kids who are really busy, but they want to do some type of activity, they can just kind of grab it and go. So that's been successful. One thing that we did a little differently in terms of our stats is we did a little bit of statistics on our how consistent our children were with the summer reading program. So the way the summer reading program works is you register and then you get raffle tickets to be entered into the raffle. And every week you're supposed to come back and show your reading log. And then every week you get a weekly prize and a raffle ticket to go into the grand prize raffle. So I was curious to see the sustainability, how many kids persisted till the end. So it was 6 tickets they could collect altogether. So that's the chart that you see under the summer reading stats. Our numbers for summer registration increased this year. It went from 168.
Can you back up? So what was the level of sustainability?
It was low. The level of sustainability was low. The largest group that sustained was the grades 2 to 5, 2nd grade to 5th grade. They were pretty consistent with it. So the highest, so they got 20 kids reached 5 tickets in that age group. But then by the 6th ticket, there was only 7. And then you'll just see in the chart, the numbers kind of get a little lower, but we have some reasons, I think, for that. People go on vacation. Nicola had shared some feedback that the log wasn't necessarily attractive or fun, which we talked about. So we had like a wrap-up meeting to talk about the summer program. And that was one of the things that we kind of all agreed that it wasn't attractive and it was kind of not maybe 100% clear. It was kind of boring. So we're going to create our own next year.
Yeah.
And we're gonna test it out and try and get
Yeah,
a little more
really excited.
excitement around it. But we're happy that our numbers went up in terms of registration.
Is there somebody who could do it online?
Oh yeah, no, there's a program called Canva. It's like an
Yeah.
easy graphic design tool that we're all pretty much
No, I
familiar
mean,
with.
so that they can go on the phone and fill it in.
No, they have to come in
Mhm.
because they have to get their raffle ticket
Ah.
and their weekly prize.
Okay.
That's
So-
what we do in other towns, Lead Squared as an app.
We did that. They did that during pandemic when I wasn't here. And then they did it the first year I was here, our first summer where we were doing mostly remote programs. It was not successful. They did not want to do the online version of it. We saw very low logins. And so we kind of went back to the paper because of that reason. But I will say, I have children in both age groups. So my daughter Abby is 4, my daughter Olivia is 5, and Abby's log was stickers. And Olivia's log was you have to sit there and write all of the titles. Abby was way more excited to put stickers on the log versus Olivia having to write out the titles. So we think we're going to go towards something more fun and engaging for next year. But like I said, our registration is up. It's just a matter of keeping them engaged and finding ways to keeping them coming back. So we're still working on it, but we're kind of aware of that. But I will say that 32 children who received their card through our school district library project signed up for summer reading. So that was a nice boost of
That's huge.
engagement and participation. Yeah, hopefully next year we can get that number up even higher. But it's a good start.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, our Around the World series concluded on Saturday. We had our end party. Thank you, Netta, for happening to be here, and thank you, Nicola, for stopping by. It was a lovely event. We had about
I'm sorry I was out of town.
Okay.
It just.
It just
seems every
happens that
time-
way. We had about 55 people come and go, I'd say, throughout the 1 to 3. We had lovely music up at the front. They were doing traditional music and dancing. We had games. We had local food, but like from around the world. So we had Greek food and Italian food and different types of chips. So we really tried to make it, diverse as possible. And we raffled off our grand prize winners. It's exciting. The woman who won the luggage set is actually going on a trip to Europe next month.
Oh, really?
Oh, talk
I
about
wanna take all of that.
timing.
I saw. her
I
online.
know,
She does
yeah.
not wanna do that.
No, but talk about perfect timing though. So
Yeah, right.
so that was exciting. And we already started thinking about our next themed program. The staff members threw in their ideas in a hat and then we voted. So our next theme for next year is going to be decades. We haven't decided which decades or how it's going to look and what is it going to look like, but right now
That'll
we
be
just,
fun.
yeah, we know it's going to be decades. So that was one of our newer employees, Ethan, he's a part-time reference clerk. That was his idea.
Good idea.
Yeah, so we're excited to get that started. September is National Library Card Sign Up Month. So we're really encouraging people to sign up for library cards if they haven't already. We're also having some incentives. Anyone who signs up, who gets a card in September will get 2 tickets to the Museum Village play in November, which is Little Miss Firecracker. We're going to be doing some pop-up tabling outside to engage people, to encourage them to do signups. So we'll see how that goes. One other thing I wanted to point out is that we recently were encouraged to look at our ebook and audiobook statistics. It sounds like our system is going in a direction where they want everybody to purchase their own titles. So right now, we don't do that. We use the consortia's titles. And there are certain libraries that purchase their own titles. But I think we're at a point where we're going to start doing that. There is an advantage to it because our community is, since I've been here, the online usage has increased. So through the Libby app, so audiobooks, ebooks are up, and our circulation of print materials is down. It's leveling each other out, but we see the need. So in the table that I shared with you guys, in August, there were 1,300 holds, people waiting for material. If we started purchasing our own titles, they would get the Monroe copy first for 30 days before it went into the pool. So at least we'll be able to help with that number. And you'll see that every single age group is borrowing material to some extent. I think the teens and the children has to do with us going into the school districts because when we went to the high school, we set them up to use the ebooks. So that was an automatic thing. The teachers knew about it. They were encouraging them. So I think that's where that uptick of numbers is. But so in starting in 2025, we're going to shift our budgeting a little bit for print and shift some of it towards our ebooks and audiobooks so we can get those titles to our patrons faster because it looks like this is the direction that they're going with. Now, they're very expensive, these titles, very expensive. So it's not going to be a huge portion of our budget. We're just going to start small and see how that goes and see what kind of impact that makes.
You're still not tracking, anything with, DVDs?
What do you mean?
Well, how much?
We can look at the DVD
should.
circulation is still high.
Yeah,
We get that report every year.
Okay.
We can run that report every month. Our DVD circulation is still high.
Amanda,
yeah.
what's the, cost of an ebook in comparison with a book, say? Is there-
It depends on the publisher and it depends on the model.
Stand up?
So there's a few different types of models. The one model is one copy, one borrower for a certain number for 1 year. Then there's another model, which is one copy, multiple borrowers for 3 years. So there's different models. It really depends on the publisher.
what does it mean by one bar? Oh,
Like one person can borrow it at a time, almost like a print book. So only one person can borrow it at a time.
isn't that kind of what we have with ebooks now?
No, different publishers have different models.
Okay.
Yeah. And so some books are $30, some books are $60.
Ebooks.
So ebooks, audiobooks. Yeah. So it ranges. It depends on the model. Yeah. So that's why we're gonna start small and we're gonna see where it goes. The good thing about our access to the statistics is we can see which titles are the most popular.
Yeah.
And we're able to kind of track that and say, listen, there's 500 people waiting for The Woman. Let's buy some print copies and let's buy maybe 2 digital copies, and get that number down, and support our community who's waiting. The average wait time for an ebook in our system is 37 days. So we can help with that by, starting to contribute in that respect. Honestly, I believe that eventually it's not going to be a choice. So I'd rather us get on top of it before we're kind of forced to do it and have no idea what we're doing. So everyone's on board with it. Melissa and Sue sat in on that meeting with us and they're totally on board. So we're just gonna work on that. But it's interesting to see that the numbers are there and that, our community is interested in those resources.
I've been waiting for horse for months.
30, yeah, it's it
Oh,
depends.
That's the one by Gwendolyn Brooks?
Geraldine.
Geraldine.
Mm.
Gwendolyn was the actress or something.
No, she's an author. It's Geraldine.
Geraldine, yeah.
A few other things to highlight is we had another ad in the photo news about our September, which is library card sign up month. We were also very fortunate, which I emailed you all, that we got into the print and the digital edition of the End Party from Around the World. So that was really exciting that the photo news has been supporting us in that respect, really, looking out for the library and making sure we get a decent spot in the paper as
Yeah.
well.
They've always been good about that. They've always been supportive.
There was a little bit of a hiccup for a while, but I think they finally got their core people set again. So we've
Yeah.
been really getting,
Well, they had to change of editor too.
yeah, well, twice. Yeah, a few
Oh, I
times.
didn't know.
Yeah. 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 So a little bit of more professional business. Apparently, you guys never approved me to be a signer on our investment accounts. And when Dina was working on this year's audit, she had me sign off on this thing saying that, yes, I have access to this account and I am authorized for these accounts. And then she came back to me and said, you never got access to the Legg Mason Clearbridge account. So I need it to be in the board minutes to share with the
Okay.
company.
So, how do you?
Say it
want-
again, Mary?
It's Franklin Templeton now.
Yes,
not like
Franklin
I think
Templeton.
Joe Ballenbach is actually on that account. It's not even Maryland.
Yeah,
I
well,
never switched
right,
because it's process.
right.
Okay,
So,
yeah.
but so Dina said the first step of the process would be for the board minutes to get
Yes,
transferred to,
yes.
what is it, Frank Templeton?
Franklin Templeton.
Franklin Templeton.
Do we need a
Wait a
motion?
second, Franklin Templeton is who?
That's
it used
the-
to be like me.
Yes, used to be Legg Mason. That used to be the investment account,
Oh, okay.
Nothing changed, just the name.
just a name, right?
Okay, so I guess we need a motion for that.
I make a motion that we approve for Amanda to sign on that account and get rid of the name of the person who isn't involved anymore.
Correct,
Who is long since passed.
right.
So,
A second.
Terry seconds, all those in favor? All right, it's unanimous.
That was
I
easy.
just need the wording again.
Access to sign on the
Franklin,
Franklin Templeton account and to remove the name of the party who is gone and deceased. That's kind of redundant.
Well, could just be.
no longer
Moved to
associated,
anywhere.
Well,
right?
and that's the
Right.
case also.
Basically, to remove the two names who are no longer associated with. the
Correct.
Marilyn
Mar-
isn't
She
there
said
anymore.
Maryland was never on it.
Maryland.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
So it's just.
so then it's just
Bill
Bill,
Bolivac?
yeah.
When they send us a check, it comes in an envelope to Joe Ballenbach.
Oh, that's
Mm. He never picks them up.
Went through a big text written in weird ways. Glad there's no problem depositing.
Another thing I wanted to point out, I don't really talk much about our social media account, but I did want to point out that our Facebook account is getting a lot of page visits.
I saw that.
Last month we got about 1,300 page visits. So it is an increase from last year, last month. So it's nice to see that, you know, people are looking us up and finding us online. I wanted to share a few.
You did vote on that?
Yes.
Yes, you did. Yes.
I'm a big
Yeah,
guy.
yeah. Sorry. Okay, I wanted to share a few, we care what you think cards. Melanie did an outstanding job with Koha. She worked very hard to see that. When we went live, everything went smoothly. Joanne, thank you for your comment, Joanne. I love your book selection and your children's bookmarks. You are very resourceful and kind. Thank you for all that you do. Signed, Library Lover. Please either put a small sign outside the bathroom showing where the light switch is. It is very dark inside. Diane, Kenny and I checked into that and we didn't really find that to be an issue. We did look into it, but it didn't seem like it was too complicated. I like how you give prizes in the summer. Raina Roberts, she comes to a lot of our programs. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to get books from your library. I love it. Enjoy the rest of your summer. Your #1 fan. This place is amazing. The Around the World has been an amazing program. I've read books and learned about countries I normally would not have checked out. Loved it. Rachel. Thank you. I really enjoyed coming here, but the computer should have a longer session and they turn off suddenly. Thank you. So yes, our computer sessions are timed. If you're a Monroe patron, you get 2 hours. If you get a guest pass, it's 1 hour. However, if you need more time and there's not people waiting, we typically extend their time. So I'm not sure what this person's experience was, but just so that you know, we do
Yeah.
pretty lax about
2
the.
hours is generous, I think, and.
Yeah, I think so. And there's never really a lot of people like clamoring to get onto the
Yeah.
computer like that. There's never there's not like a line or anything. A lot of people come to print and they can do the quick print now with their phones to the email address. So that's really never a huge issue. Sorry, I know I have a lot to say tonight. I'm sorry. as many of you know, the library received the RCLS Randy Enos Children's Award this past
Yes.
Friday. Yes,
Bravo.
no, this committee did a really fabulous job. It was a committee comprised of adults and children's. Mike Magan was on the committee, Elizabeth Pearl, Melanie Turner, Samantha Angarola, and myself. We were on the committee, and it was 12 months of planning and arts, and they well deserved. They really did an excellent job. So it was really nice to be recognized by the system for that.
Yes, and your peers.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. I had a meeting with Mayor Dwyer today to have a discussion with him about putting a story walk in Airplane Park. They are currently redesigning that playground. And I thought that might be a good opportunity to kind of get in there and see. For those of you who are not familiar with the story walk, it's basically, like how they have those big signs outside around the pond with the history of the village. So basically that would be a story, like a children's picture book. And it's about, it's the whole book, maybe 10 to 14 posts. And we would change the story seasonally. It would be in English and in Spanish. So I pitched it to him. He said he liked the idea, just to come back to him with a formal presentation and present it to the rest of the board, but he seemed interested in it.
Would this be electronic?
No, it's print.
So,
It would be behind glass. So there's a whole
oh, okay,
company.
behind a glass.
Yeah, no, there's a whole company that provides you with the posts and the frames and everything.
Rain
The
free.
yes, and they print out the books for you so that they're large enough. So it's a whole thing. And
really nice one over at the Chester Town Park.
yes, Chester has it. Warwick, they have it on their property because they have that big grassy area. And we plan to use, we got that grant from Scoofus last year, so we plan to use that money to contribute towards it. So, yeah, so we'll see. So to be continued, but at least he seemed engaged in the idea.
Oh, that's nice.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Good
So
idea.
it's supposed to be presented then to the village board?
Correct. Yeah.
Is
So-
there a timing? on
No, he sold me, just put a presentation together, meet with him one more time, and then present it to the village board. So,
Neil was supportive of the book baskets too.
yeah. No, we had a nice chat today. We talked about a few other things as well. He told me that they're gonna be upgrading Smithfield Court. The angled parking up towards the movie theater.
Over here.
Yes, he said they're gonna be putting lighting there. They're gonna be putting sidewalks so that it's a
Alright.
little safer for our patrons to come to the library when they're pulling out, when they're
That's good.
getting out. Yeah,
They're
so
gonna start charging.
no, they're not gonna, from what he said to me, I mean, yeah. And I
Meters.
did briefly speak to him about it because we did unfortunately have a volunteer of ours who got a ticket last Friday. And I asked, is there anything you can do for us? And he said, give me the ticket and I'll take care of it. So, but he said that they do have plans to do some more educational videos on how to use the kiosk. Apparently the parking enforcement person has been really generous and been talking to people about how it works. I think he came in once or twice to talk to Sue about it, to see if anyone's car is out there before they get the ticket. So I think they're trying, but
You mean you've got to use an app?
no, you don't have to. You can put your license plate and the key in the kiosk. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but I don't know all the story, but he was very kind in taking care of that ticket for our volunteer.
Which app is it?
I don't know. I haven't downloaded it
I
yet,
already
so.
have two
I don't know.
parking apps on my phone.
Yeah. But that's exciting news with regards to the story walk, because it's something that we wanted to do. It's a nice
Yeah.
little give back to the community. And there's a lot of opportunities to change it, seasonally. Some libraries do like scavenger hunts with it too, to get them back to the library. So there's a lot of opportunities there, and I'm excited to explore that
Yeah.
further.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Can you also reach out to Harriman and the town of Monroe, because we both have parks?
Right.
So you have funding this year
Right.
to do the village,
Mhm.
but just to maybe see if there's interest in the other two municipalities.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we have to see. I think our costs should cover this round in the village. And then maybe if there's room in our budget and et cetera, or we can work together, I've definitely reach out.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate
Well,
that
Mary-
idea.
that's an important point because I've always been concerned that Harriman didn't realize that this is their library.
Yeah,
And so many times, like when we had to go out and get names on petitions, people wouldn't realize that the Monroe Library was their library if they
Yeah.
lived in Harriman.
Yeah.
So it's really something that we have to, kind of remember
Yeah,
and see if we
right.
can do something to change that perception.
Absolutely. Well, one of the things that we're doing, and it's a small thing, but when we do we're doing that postcard, the Welcome to Monroe postcard, we obviously included everyone in our service area, and that includes parts of Harriman. So those new people to Harriman will get postcards from us saying, come to your local library.
Yeah,
So that's
great.
good. Yeah. Okay, sorry, a few other things. I need you guys to approve the CCTV proposal as well as the electrical lighting proposal. These proposals came about from our New York Construction Aid grant. But I need you guys to formally approve them because, as you know, the grant that we applied for is technically a reimbursement grant. We won't see that money until the end of 2025, and these quotes will essentially expire at that point, so we can't really wait. We already showed our matching funds towards it. And if you approve them and after you approve them, I do have some logistical questions to ask you about the actual work with the lighting, so we'll cross that bridge, I guess, when we get there.
And I had a question on that, but when you had sent to us.
Yes.
That was. How did that differ? Is there anything?
So what differed was the Orange and Rockland,
Oh, not that one is the.
that you're talking about the CCTV, yeah. So he had to put language in there about the cost of the software. That wasn't in the other one. Because the state will not pay for the cost of software. So we had to get a specific number on it and then back that out and say that we will be using our funds for that. And we don't expect New York State to pay for that.
They do that with federal grants as well.
Mm.
I wonder what the motivation is behind it. It's very
What
strange.
was that, Netta?
They do that, federal, the grants that I used to put into NIH, software was excluded.
When grants that you put in was the
Uh-huh.
same, that's
Yeah.
interesting, isn't it?
Federal.
I can understand with the state grant because it's a construction grant.
Right,
And
right.
software is not construction.
Yeah, when our CLS came back to me with some suggested revisions, they were Stephen was like, you got to put more construction language in there.
Mhm.
So he helped me out with some construction
He's
language.
great. Oh, it's great. He's
Yeah.
saved us so many times.
Well,
Yeah,
okay.
it's construction language, for sure, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't read it. I'll have to go in and check.
5 nails per inch.
Yeah.
What was that?
5 nails per inch.
Yeah, right.
Watch
So
your
The
fingers.
amount is different
Yes,
in the two of them.
So
So when you gave us is higher, not lower.
correct.
Which one was backing up the software? Was that-
Well, so we're gonna have to
Oh, okay.
yes.
So who would like to make a motion? And we should have a dollar amount on that motion.
Like separate first one for the.
It should be.
I think for each proposal should be a separate motion
Yeah.
because they're two separate projects.
So what's the bottom line on the one for the cameras?
$14,165.
Mhm.
Okay. So who's making the motion?
Oh.
Okay, you wanna, put that in words, Dave?
Speak.
Somebody have a
I
second?
accept
Oh, wait, what is
this
it? Um,
proposal for the camera system upgrade
Yeah.
At
And the amount of-
at
$14,000.
$14,165.
Okay. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Susan seconds. All right, all those in favor? Okay.
You're not in favor, Dick?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so it's unanimous then.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Okay, Rockding Electric, yes.
So I think.
I don't have that.
I don't have that one either.
There was an attachment.
It-
What?
It was an attachment?
Mhm.
Oh, thank
What was
you.
the total on that?
Mhm.
And don't forget, we should be getting at least half back. maybe.
Correct. Yeah, well, minus the Orange and Rockland, rebate,
Yeah, I see that.
yeah.
$400.
The fixtures too, like, did you select the fixture? 'Cause you
Yeah,
said
no, that was everything.
that's
That includes
fixture.
everything, yes.
Okay. So you selected the fixture.
Mhm.
And we don't pay any sales tax on anything, so.
Mhm.
Okay, so I can make a motion to approve the spending on the Rockland Electric proposal revision number 1. For the lighting fixture and et cetera. In the amount of $44,500.
Second,
Now to seconds?
any discussion, anybody?
Yeah, discussion's good. We didn't have it on the last one. I don't always remember to ask.
We talked about that.
Yeah, we did talk about them.
Extensively.
You said about half from construction. grade?
Correct,
Could be-
yeah.
Do we want discussion? Anybody have
We
any?
had already discussed it.
Yeah.
We approved it at the last board meeting. All right,
We'll approve it
Then-
again.
say it again.
We can approve it again.
Yes, okay.
We have to vote.
Well, it has to be official. Okay, so all those in favor of the proposal? Again, it's unanimous?
Wonderful, thank you. Okay, so, I was on the phone with him today and we were talking logistics.
The lighting guy?
The lighting guy, yes. And he wanted to know how we wanted to go about, the project. He said it could take him up to 2.5 to 3 days to do it. He said we don't have to close, but whatever area he's working on will have to be closed. Because of, the removal of the lights, the bringing them in, the dust, that it's gonna produce. He said obviously he'll put covers over the stacks and all that kind of stuff. But he said we don't have to close. It's just a matter of closing certain areas. He said, nonfiction, and fiction are gonna take the longest because they're the most lighting. I don't know how you guys want to go about it. Do you have any concerns with us being open and closing areas while it's going on?
What do you think?
I have concerns about nonfiction because they'll be using the front door to bring the lights in and out. I'm concerned with patrons coming in and out. I don't know.
Do they have to use the front door?
Ooh, do you really want them traipsing through the whole library with the lights? The next
Okay.
available place would be this, at least when they do the back, they can do this exit or they can do the staff,
Well, maybe we
you know?
maybe we should close for that portion.
I was just thinking that. you know,
I'm a
maybe
little concerned about safety.
For the front of the building.
That's how I feel
Because
too.
electricity, if it's being shut down, the computers don't work and we can't shut down.
That's right.
Right.
Might as well just close for the day or however long he needs.
I tried to get him to commit to 2.5 days, but he's like, see how
That's
much we
2.5
can get.
days total.
Correct.
Okay, so maybe he's gonna do children's first and.
He was
see
being
how it goes.
flexible. He said, whichever section we wanted to do first. So,
Well, maybe, it's a matter of looking at the use patterns and the children's area. Maybe you could keep the rest of the library open. And
so you're recommending doing children's first?
I would,
Yeah, and see how
Yeah.
it goes.
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, so he said he'd probably do children's and teens, because they're kind of close together
Yeah.
and it's smaller, so teens is
Mhm.
only the 8 lights. And then children's it would be the,
Well, if he has
The
teams closed off, then they can't get into children's.
right, so well, that's what I'm saying, he'd do it together.
yeah.
Right.
Okay, got it.
And that's an easier area to close off, I think.
Mhm.
And, then when it comes to the adult
front
section,
side.
you might have to close entirely.
Right. Yeah,
But at least you'd have an idea.
But they'll
Maybe
probably,
just Depending on how long it takes him. it would-
He told me he could not get that done in a day.
he could-
I
Right.
asked
The
him,
front.
The first.
yes.
oh,
I asked him and he
Yeah.
said no.
But will the electricity be off?
I don't think so. I mean, we have separate breakers. I don't think the electricity would be off for the whole building. I think we could parse it out. Yeah.
Can I ask, do we need permits, the 65 permits? Is there anything like that that we need to prepare?
I've obviously follow up with him on it. Yeah. And-
She's got a full of permits.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Because I know we did them for next door. We got all the permits.
Yeah, I'll definitely follow up with that as well.
I think they might be able to work faster also in the adult section if it's closed, so they won't have to worry about anybody getting on. the
Closed
floor.
off or closed? So
I said
having the
closed.
back part of the building open, but adult side closed, or the library completely
I think
closed?
completely closed, because
You think-
otherwise you're
you
gonna
think
have
close the
people who
whole
are gonna
thing or
just
something?
decide they wanna go or use the bathroom.
Right,
Or, so it would just be, then the staff would be handling the people and it sounds
Right.
very unwieldy,
right.
so.
So your recommendation is we can stay open while they do their work in children and teens, but when it comes to fiction and nonfiction, we should close.
What's your feeling about it?
I
Amanda?
agree. I'm concerned about the chaos it's gonna create. I mean, obviously, we put out communication about it and explain to people what's going on,
Yeah,
but still, not everyone is gonna get that communication.
right.
And then you're gonna have an influx of people coming towards the back of the building, trying to take up space to work and read and whatever.
It's true.
So you think just close it down for a couple of days?
I would say give them 2 days to do that and then stay open, but close this section when they do teens and children's. That would be my recommendation.
Well, I
So-
think we ought to go by yours unless anybody else has, you're the one that's running the
I
operation.
think your judgment on this is the best call.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to work with the departments to obviously discuss some things with them. I would say it probably happen in October, November, considering they already have certain things on the calendar. I mean, September is,
Yeah,
so,
Mhm.
and they need to order the parts too, so it might make it easier for him as well, because we were talking about they're gonna need to put a dumpster and a box, like a truck box to be able to put the lighting, and so he said it would be easier if they could store some of that stuff, so while if we're closed, they'll be able to store some of their stuff.
Mhm.
How do you want to handle staff? If we're closed to the public, I mean, several of our staff can still obviously do their work. Not everybody, but many of us can.
I think that if we're closed because we're doing something, that staff should be paid.
I agree. I'm questioning,
Uh,
do you want them to report or do you want them,
Why have them report if they're not gonna be able to do anything?
some can.
Well,
Some
the
can
ones-
do their work.
Okay, the ones who can,
Mhm.
and I think you're gonna have to talk to the staff and, come back to us
Right.
on that, but to me, if they're not gonna be able to do their work, it doesn't seem fair to make somebody
I
report
agree.
in.
I think also it's a construction zone. I think it might be a little bit tricky with people walking around and materials and.
Right.
I agree.
So some people can work at home and.
Some
I
can work
take a
remotely.
computer home and work at home,
Mhm.
no problem, but.
Yeah.
and they're not doing anything in the offices, is that correct?
No, this is all stack related.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you could still work in circulation and,
I mean, yeah. Yeah, certain people will have
Yeah.
things they could be doing, but
Yeah.
not everybody.
right.
Yeah. Okay. Do you guys need to make a motion or anything to approve this or?
Yeah, maybe to close
If
the
they're gonna
library,
get
we
paid
should have a
and
motion.
Right,
What'd you say,
If they're
Nicole?
gonna get.
if they're gonna
and
get paid while we're
closed.
closed, yeah.
Yeah.
But do we need to
Have
know the
specific
specific date?
dates.
Maybe we should wait for. a
When's the
more
next
specific-
board meeting? October,
It's late.
oh, that's late.
Yeah.
Oh, that's late. I've
We can't wait?
Pending to.
What was
to
that?
waive. Couldn't we just do a pending
Yeah, I think, well, she's saying that it's gonna be late if we wait for the meeting.
Well,
Well, for the upcoming project.
yeah,
Probably October 21st.
right,
Because of
Oh,
Columbus Day.
yeah.
So it's always the third
later, yeah.
Monday
Okay.
in October.
So,
Thank you.
so Terry, why don't you frame a motion
I
in
just
vague
said
words?
myself, but-
Yeah.
I mean,
No, we wait for now.
unless we just say to them, we'd like to do this in November. And then you can approve it and
Yeah, but
Whatever
we
2
still
days.
shouldn't, you still need
Right.
to
plan.
plan.
Right, you
and
can't really
you have
plan
to
it
put
in
that
10
on the
days.
schedule.
Right,
So that's not really
yeah,
reasonable.
realistic, right.
So.
All right, so what are we saying here? I missed that. You're planning what?
We like vote on being closed for the 2 days as needed and just leave the dates. up
There you
to
go.
you.
Can't you call that a motion?
I'll make that a motion.
Don't
Close on the, whatever 2 days are needed to do the lighting.
In the
By
fiction,
rock-
in the fiction and non.
And that
Yeah,
any staff that aren't able,
to work.
will
The
still
library
get
work
paid.
from home will still be paid.
Should
By
say
Rockland
2 days,
Let's-
in case
let-
it runs into
You
3 or
should put
4.
Rockland in like.
Right.
Let's give
the-
Diane a
Well,
chance.
We
Let's give,
Yeah.
we're making Diane nuts here.
should probably include the project name.
Monroe Free Library Lighting Project by Rockland Electric. We make a motion to be closed for
For 2 days to be determined.
2 days to be determined.
To complete
To complete the Monroe Free Library Lighting Project by Rockland Electric.
Yeah,
Well said.
how many
Don't ask me
degrees
to say
do we have here?
Plenty.
I just sat in on an AI Zoom about how to.
That was good.
I'm like, by the time you get finished telling the AI what you need, you've done it yourself.
Yeah, that's good to know.
Who made this motion, Dave, second? And
Terry really.
Should we, behind the curve, should we put something in there though about paying the staff too?
Yes.
Yeah. we
Yeah.
have that.
Yeah.
Just, there could be a separate sentence. The staff will be paid
During this time.
during this
Closure.
closure.
Mhm.
There you go. And who seconded?
Netta.
That had seconded it?
Okay.
Seconded it. All those in favor? All right, another unanimous vote.
Now, what?
I think that's it, that's everything, thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
I'll get you going.
I have, oh, so we're going back to the agenda. Diane, do you need this for what you're doing?
I have it.
Okay.
All right, we don't have a treasurer's report because Casey's away on business.
That's what he
That's a
said.
couple months ago, isn't it? That's a
Yeah,
couple of months.
Yeah.
Does he have to be here for us to approve the reports? I mean, can he give us a summary
Well,
online?
Amanda has all of the financials.
And then
I
we
would
could
say
vote.
it's up to the,
Yeah. The only things that looked, probably out of the ordinary to you, was our building and grounds line, which, was because of the HVAC unit. And Mary and I worked with Dina to find the right place for it. We talked to Casey about it and Dina made the recommendation that it stays, where it is. And then there's a journal entry, right, at the end of the year, to note that it was a capital improvement project. But everything else looked normal to me.
all right, so if someone wants to make. Treasurer report?
I submitted the financials when I submitted my report to you guys.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
So we do
Yeah.
have them.
Mhm. Yeah, and then the other line that was high was our printing, which could be for the fact that we printed so many calendars, because we're out in the community this year. We did all of that calendar printing to the schools when we went and did the summer reading and the library cards. So our print line, was higher over budget because of those reasons. Yeah,
Which is fine.
which is a good reason, right? It's a
Yeah.
good problem to have, right?
It really is.
Yeah.
All right, do we have a motion and which financials are we passing? Because,
July and August.
July and August.
yeah,
You can't keep tabling them.
No.
Casey's not here.
That's a good point.
Well, you can make a motion.
Go for it.
He doesn't want to.
I'll make a motion to accept July and August financial reports. As submitted by Amanda and Casey, or just Amanda, or what?
Yeah. Okay, yeah, since Casey didn't give any feedback, yep.
And a second.
I can second that.
Susan seconds, all those in favor? Make it easy.
I have a question.
Unanimous.
Wait, is this question?
No.
Discussion? Oh, okay.
Building and grounds.
Yeah.
What's cooking with fixing up the front of the building?
I did reach out to, well, I reached out to Mary to follow up with our landscaper and he called me. And we did have a discussion about it. He didn't give me any solid dates. Like I said previously, he sounded pretty hesitant, but I was pretty firm with him and I said that I really want all of that removed.
Except for the roses.
Except for the roses, yes. I'll have to call him again. I did speak with him last week and he was supposed to get back to me and I haven't heard from him, so. but it
Did
is-
it before winter.
Yes,
Who is
I
it?
agree. Tim Haynes, right, Mary? Tim Haynes. He's been our landscaper. He does our snow removal. He's very responsive typically. He's reliable. But I think he's just hesitant because of.
He doesn't want to
he
take
doesn't
the
wanna
ivy
take the
down.
ivy
No,
down.
I know.
But I-
Professional opinion is just
Right,
that.
but in my professional opinion, we're not a historic building.
Yeah.
It doesn't go with the jive with the character of the downtown area. And it looks messy.
It looks very messy.
It looks messy.
It looks neglected.
Agreed, 100%
And
agreed.
it sets a bad impression of the library to somebody who's coming from that direction.
100%, I agree.
I think his issue, one of his issues is it's a shallow
Yeah.
bed. And so it's
Yeah.
very hard to choose a hardy plant that will continue to grow. So he did suggest annuals every year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That'd be lovely.
yeah,
And he was gonna talk to Amanda about that.
yeah,
But that has been his main concern. that,
right.
You know, something might not take root there because it's so shallow and.
I can understand that. I just, but regardless.
Yeah.
Something needs to be
Agreed.
done. But I think putting in annuals is a lovely idea.
Yeah, I think so.
We don't have to worry about deer coming up and eating them
Oh,
over
yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Don't count on that.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's something will be better than what it is now, so,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
but, you know, like
You're
I
just
said,
talking right in front of the library.
yeah, what do you
I
think?
haven't noticed the ivy, to tell you
Oh,
the
yeah,
truth.
no,
on
it's
sidewalk.
The
creeping.
roses I know.
Yeah, no, it's creeping way too high and it's
Well,
creeping into the front of the
I
window.
came from the other
No.
side. And that was when I had never noticed it
Yeah.
either, but I came from the other side and I was like, oh, this just doesn't look good.
Yeah, no,
I'm gonna have to go out and take a look.
yeah.
Yeah, but you have to wait for daylight.
Yeah, I do. Cause it's
Yeah.
not gonna look so bad now.
No.
All right, moving along, group. Nominating.
Oh, I have nothing really new to report. We have one person here who's interested in.
Kathleen, would you like to stand up and tell us something about yourself and?
Hi, that's all right, Diane. Hi, I'm Kathy Bayer. I've moved here only 2.5 years ago, from Staten Island. I'm a retired, New York City public school teacher. I love libraries. I worked, prior to teaching, I worked for 20 years in nonprofits, and so I've been familiar with boards in the past. I'm on the Round Lake Park Association board currently, as co-secretary. I have dear friends who are librarians, so. I have one son who recently got married at Arrow Park. I don't know how much information you do. Any questions?
Oh, my father's family's from Staten Island.
No, what part?
You know,
What was
The house was on Victory Boulevard.
oh, that goes through almost the whole island. So I just know Kathy did a great job with the Round Lake Park Association. It was a real big uptick this year and engagement, and she's served on the board and is on is the secretary for us.
I'm a member in case nobody knows it.
Oh,
It's secret.
We do a
I
share
used to pay
glass.
my dues, but then they never asked us again.
Oh,
But anyway.
Thanks
Yeah.
for coming in.
We'll be asking. Thank you for having me.
May have your number now.
I know, my mouth shut.
And, so we're in the process of reaching out to people. We have openings on the board. I don't know who this gentleman is. Yes, hi.
Hi, my name is Mike Motika. I've been living in the village of Monroe since 43, since 83, 40 years.
Oh, okay.
Really good.
When I used to live in Brooklyn, near Williamsburg. When we started looking for a house, our two boys were born, I said, survived after they were born, I says, we're not gonna live here anymore. I said, when they start school, we're gonna be someplace else. And I started driving like one out, because I worked in Manhattan. I'm a career paramedic, 50 years. And we drove all over, and the first I ever got on Long Island, I couldn't afford it. I just got to the border of Nassau and Queens, and I just couldn't afford it. So we drove all over, and an hour, because that's what I thought I wanted to commute. Not thinking that I'd live up here, I'd get a job with Mobile Life, and you know, that's where that goes. And we drove to the town, and people were skating around, you know, it was December, there was light snow on, and people were skating around, and I said, this is it, this is the place we're gonna go. What else can I tell you? I belong to the Monroe Historical Society. I did belong to the Monroe Ambulance Corps for a while, until jobs switched and I moved out of the air, and time just didn't work for me. I have some ideas, it may work, they may not, but you know, any questions? I'm not bad.
Well, I would like your contact number. If you're interested in joining.
Sure,
the board.
I talked to somebody, she sent me an email saying that this was your, I don't know who it was,
Okay.
but
Okay.
so somebody emailed me. And
I
said,
forwarded you his contact information.
Oh, okay, then I never heard back. So,
Hmm.
right, you didn't email me back, did you?
no,
Okay, that's probably why I don't have it. So I do
I
have.
just
your-
said, I'll be there.
Oh, okay, then I do have.
A
your
little late,
info.
I'm sorry, but I
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
open the door.
Thank you. I do have your info.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay,
thank you very
Anything else
much.
you could think, you know,
The procedure then, Mike, will be, if both of you are interested,
Yeah.
you know, I'll send you out the formal application, just, you know,
Yeah,
fill it
yeah,
back,
yeah.
send it out, and then, you know, next meeting, I think we'll
Yeah,
be able
Can I
to
ask some
vote.
questions?
Mhm.
yeah.
You mentioned something about decades,
Mm-hmm.
what is that?
So, the past 2 years, we've been doing like themed programming. Previously, it was arts. We did a whole year of arts. This past 6 months, we did a trip around the world. And so now our library is going to be doing a themed program about the decades.
Decades.
About decades. No, just in general. So like, we haven't picked a time period, but it might be like, all
60s.
things about the 60s, all things about the 70s, etc.
The 20s.
Well, we don't know. I'm just saying, we haven't picked our time frame yet, but it's gonna just.
I grew up in the 60s.
Some of us,
Yeah,
some of us
yeah.
did, yeah.
It's just,
We get it.
it's just another way for us to create excitement about our programs and services.
With the Historical Society and see what they have.
Yeah,
They don't do a lot.
right, yeah.
The other thing, it has to do with the ambulance corps.
Mhm.
Are you guys doing the Cheese Festival?
No, we're not participating this year.
Why?
I couldn't get, we made the decision that the cheese festival is so large, so many people outside of Monroe come to it, that it wasn't necessarily our patron base, so, you know, so to say. And, you know, we didn't have a great experience, unfortunately, the last previous 2 years. So we decided to not participate.
I asked because, you know, as a member of Monroe, they park the ambulance out here And there
Mhm.
was no one out there. I walked up to him, I said, hi, I introduced myself. It's kind of funny. I said, hi, Mike. And he was like, looking at me like, and I said, Mike. And he says, yeah. I says, I'm waiting for you to introduce yourself. He said, I'm Mike.
Mhm.
And he didn't get the joke that I was Mike and he was Mike. And he just didn't get it, you
Mhm.
know? And then he went back and started playing his chess game on a thing. I thought that was rude.
It sounds rude.
Well, and I spoke to Wayne, who's president of the ambulance corps. I said, what is with this guy? And maybe we could do something for teens
Mhm.
in the Monroe, like Stop the Bleed. I mean, we had that thing down in Georgia where 2 kids got killed, a couple of teachers got killed, others were injured. Now, this would be only for teens.
Mhm.
You don't wanna,
Right. Mhm.
you don't want too young.
So are you
kids.
talking about like a first aid kind
Like a
of thing?
program
Yeah,
of
like,
some
just stop-
sorts.
just stop the
Yeah.
bleed. Just
Mhm.
teach them to put pressure on it, and that's it. You can also do a Narcan thing. She's easy. You
Mhm.
guys should, a lot of,
Presumably,
a
we
lot
would
of-
do that for
yeah.
adults.
a lot of, libraries do it for the staff,
Yeah.
for people coming in.
Right.
doing Narcan. It's really easy. I could teach it.
Right. Yeah.
I'm also a state instructor,
Mhm.
so I could teach the staff and I could teach anybody.
Right.
What did you say your background was, Mike?
I was a paramedic for 50 years. I
Mhm.
started down at Cornell, I was a supervisor down there, and then I thought that I would work there for the rest of my life,
Mhm.
and then we moved up here, and the commute got longer and longer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Been
2
there.
hours. to
Yes.
get-
Been
You know,
there.
I watched the 9 to 5s coming down Route 6 with their lights, and I said, boy, if I left 5 minutes before I was supposed to leave, I was late, like 20 minutes getting into work.
Yeah.
So I started looking around, and I said, mobile life, I said, so this way I save on gas. I was changing
Mhm.
gas and oil every 2 months.
Yeah.
Taxes, not only gas and maintenance, but also the tolls.
Yeah.
Let's go to George Washington Bridge. So, I lost some money, but then I gained some money, not being, so it all evened out.
Balances.
It
Yeah.
all balanced out.
Well, we
Yeah.
thank you for your interest, Mike.
Yeah.
Mike, I apologize for recognizing it, but I do have your contact information.
Yeah.
We did exchange emails.
That's all I got.
Okay.
I like to
That's
get
fine.
involved.
Thank you.
I got some ideas, but, again, it depends on
Mhm.
what you want to do.
It's great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Great.
Mike, you should know that, we're always interested in ideas. Mostly, we're interested in people who are team players,
Ah.
who, don't come in with an agenda, like, some library boards have had issues like that. I put on every, agenda a quote from the Library Association of New York State. Our primary job is to provide the highest quality library service possible for our community, not the cheapest. And so we're looking for people who are going to be library supporters and, can work with a group.
I was on the board at Monroe. I know it's a given, it's a give and take.
Yes.
And I have no
Yes.
problem with that. If I come up with an idea and everybody likes it, fine. It's crucial for me. If
Yeah.
nobody likes it, you come up with discussion and they say, no, that's not really for us, like the Stop the Bleed or Narcan. You may not want to do that. You may want to defer to Monroe Middle School, who I gotta tell you, did nothing. They don't, I was really pissed that sorry for my language, but I was really upset with Wayne, who's the president. Why didn't they, I also arranged a get together to get more people in. That was the only time they did it, was when I pronounced it. So, I asked them, what's the idea? You could have had a booth for free. You could have just.
Well,
Well,
you don't know what else they had
Right.
going on either, But,
They have four ambulances. One of them could have been out there to just, there are two ambulances here, one of them could have been.
Oh.
Mm.
just opened up.
yeah, I don't know the circumstances, Mike, none of us do. But, I just want to say, we need to get on with the meeting.
Sorry to have. That's one of the problems I have, I tell you now, it's like, when I get on my I talk to them. I have no problem with somebody shutting me.
Well, I'm not shutting you off, I'm just saying, we need to move forward.
Right, exactly.
But thank you again for your interest.
And I will send you out the applications.
Okay. Buildings and grounds, we already talked
Yeah.
about the HVAC and the landscaping.
Yes.
Bylaws, we have nothing, correct?
Not yet.
Finance is Casey and he isn't here.
We did it.
Yeah,
Well, that.
Well, yeah.
well, finance, another. Fundraising, move on. Grants. That's our bet noir.
Grants has not had a meeting. We should have a meeting and starting in September, right? We'll get back to work.
Amanda
Oh.
did the grant.
Well, yeah.
Well, that construction aid grant, that's,
Yeah.
yeah, but I do have something else to share. RCLS is providing these mini grants for assistive technology devices and for translation. It's called, I think the company is called Translate Live, and basically it's 2 tablets. And one is patron facing, one is staff facing, and then the patron picks their language, and then they speak into it. And then it types it out so they can see it, and then it translates it to the other person in the other language. And they can go back and forth that way.
Nice.
So it seems like a pretty easy process. It's through RCLS. So we had to participate in a webinar, like a passive webinar, and then we're going to participate in a live webinar and submit the application. But like I said, it seems like more like a formality that, fill out the application, show that you showed up and you understand what happens, and then that's it. So I'll follow up, but that would be really helpful for
That would
us.
be absolutely
Yeah.
marvelous. You
Yeah.
can have a sign up that says, we speak your language.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, and another thing that I'm not sure if you saw on our calendar, but we had a patron who just walked through the door one day and said, I'd like to offer a 6-week ESL course for you.
Yeah,
Oh, she is
so excited
just
to hear
walked
that.
through the door one day, and reached out to Sue. So she's going to be doing in the daytime and in the evening on Tuesdays and Thursdays for 6 weeks.
What's her name?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Perez, but did I say
Maybe
that?
something like that. Yeah, yeah. So, so we're really,
Are we paying her?
no, she's volunteering her time.
Okay, yeah,
Wow.
well,
Right.
I'd like to see it happen more than once.
Agreed.
Because those
No, I agree
programs
with
tend
you.
to build up.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So that was an exciting,
That's very
opportunity.
exciting.
Yeah.
I'm actually got children.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
She's certified, does she have like ESL certification? or
Yes.
She's just doing it.
She's certified.
That's great.
Yeah.
English as a second language.
Okay, sorry.
And that was a backward, right? Or-
What is that?
She's
Well,
anything.
but the
Yeah.
thing is
Yeah,
that it's
that's-
supposed to work with.
Any
Oh,
language.
I think it's-
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
should be.
So how is, are we going to advertise that and she's
It
going?
has been advertised in Spanish and in English. We put the flyer, well, the flyer's supposed to make its way back here. It might be up there. Elizabeth also went, we have now a nice few spots in the neighborhood where we can post the flyer and share it. So we shared the flyer,
Ukrainian and
print and,
Ukrainian and Mandarin.
okay. I don't know where to put that, but okay. I don't know what spots, like local spots to put that.
In the Polish building.
Okay.
Polish and Ukrainian.
Yeah, yeah, okay. All right, yep, I'll have Elizabeth do that. So she's been posting it in certain spots.
That's great.
Yep. Yep.
All right, where are we now? Library operating? And that's Carol. I don't see Carol.
No, she was having technical difficulty. She's texting me. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Long range planning?
Yeah, been meeting bi-weekly. via Zoom. Our next meeting is tomorrow at 7. Sorry, yeah. I know that you said that you can't, we need to redo the day and
Hey, day and
time.
time, yeah, I'd say so.
Is there a day that works, Susan, on top of your head, or we can do this via email?
We can do it by email.
Okay.
We don't take a people's time, but yes, there are other days, yes.
So we're just kind of deciding that we're gonna do some focus groups in October, November, using our CLS facilitators.
Yep.
Hopefully.
Mhm. Jen Park and Megan Doyle agreed to facilitate those. I'm meeting with Jen tomorrow to flush out those dates.
Megan is
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Super.
Do about 6, right? And then
Yeah, we
beyond
said-
that,
Mhm.
Sam might do one with the teens.
Oh, yes, yep. I brought that up at our staff meeting. She said no problem. She was excited about it, that the teams
Okay.
have had a say.
In the
So,
senior center.
yes, I'm doing one at the senior center. I already talked to Anne Marie Morris. She said, sure, no problem. So we'll be, me and Mike will be doing one at the senior center.
We can do one for the board the day
Correct.
before,
Mhm.
about 6 groups. We came up with questions. Just kind of fleshing them out right now.
Yeah, Elizabeth has marketing. She's just making some small tweaks to it, but once we have the dates finalized, she'll start to publicize it. I was very fortunate to attend, have an agenda item on the last town board meeting, so I shared that was coming. Once I have those dates flushed out, I will push it out to the people that I know who will send it on their constant contact for the village and the town. So Yep.
Great, progress is being made.
absolutely.
Maybe we can find some friends.
What was
Yeah,
that?
we found some,
Yeah.
we found you, right? So we'll find.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
you
I'm
never
not
know.
a friend.
We'll find some friends next time.
All right, public relations,
Nothing.
nothing, okay,
Oh, Elizabeth seems to be doing a great job.
yeah.
Yes, yep. One thing that she just got confirmation from today is we got a spot on the diner placemats. Yes.
Oh.
So we'll be in,
Now
we'll
I
be
really feel
in,
like we're famous.
right? Well, I'm trying to get her to get in touch with the company that does the bench and ShopRite.
Oh, yeah.
So I thought that would be a premier spot.
Yeah.
So that'll be in about a month, 3 weeks to 4 weeks from now, that'll start to be on the placemats, and it runs for 3 months.
Maybe we can get your picture on the back of the shopping cart.
Oh, please. No, I'm very excited though, because it's a different audience, and I think it'll be a
No, I
nice
think it's
touch. Yeah, we're
fabulous.
really trying to cast our net wide.
Yes,
So
Yesterday,
we will, we will.
What about
So we
doing
can go,
something
yeah,
there? They hand
yeah.
out things on a table. So even if we
Mm.
didn't have a table, we would have something for the table. Like what
Yeah.
other businesses have.
Oh, okay, I don't even know who to get in touch with for that,
If
so.
the
Like,
board members
you
were
mean like
there.
a brochure?
Anything, yeah.
They had
Well,
pens,
Like a calendar?
Yeah, I have a
calendar,
pretty
yeah.
decent relationship with Dennis from the Conservation Committee through the town, and he came in today specifically asking if we wanted to put anything on his table for the cheese festival. So I gave him a few things. He's gonna put it out on his table for us.
Do we do anything with like kindergarten administration? Do we have
Mice?
anything?
No, but we will be in touch shortly with the school district. The opt-out option for library cards is Friday. And then once that data is finalized, they will send us over to us. We also had other touch points that we were gonna touch upon, like getting into the building meetings and talking to the building administrators and the principals about, enforcing the resources that the library has so that the students are aware and
Yeah.
they use them, like tutor.com and Libby and all that stuff. And then there was some discussion about getting into some other events that the school's having, so to be continued, but I'm sure there wouldn't be an issue with those opportunities.
Have you had very many parents opt out?
I don't get that data,
Okay.
but the assistant superintendent told us last year that it was such a small number.
Yeah.
So, and who knows, maybe their kid already had a card,
Yeah,
and they're like,
yeah.
oh, we don't need it, who knows?
Yeah,
don't know.
that could very well be true.
He said it was such a small number. It, wasn't significant. Didn't raise any red flags or
good to
anything.
know.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a question.
if you have a bench in the shop by,
Mm-hmm,
why don't you contact the Heritage Trail?
mm-hmm,
They have benches there, and since you're trying to bring people in from Harriman,
mm-hmm,
you might get a bench or two.
mm-hmm,
I think you have to pay for them,
yeah,
but, you know, put a bench in Harriman, put a bench in Monroe with our name on it.
right, right,
A lot of people use it, but it's been my experience, I've been on trail,
mm-hmm,
they don't go very far. I
right,
don't know if you know it or not, but from Goshen up,
yeah.
well, it's a 1% grade. I made the mistake of riding the bike down to Goshen,
Mm-hmm.
and it was great, it was great.
Yeah.
Coming back.
Yeah.
was-
Yeah.
There's no coast.
I don't
Yeah.
recall seeing any kind of advertising on any of those.
No, I think this is just regular benches, right?
I have to say that there is.
There's no.
I have to say that it's a place
Yeah.
where there shouldn't be. It should be dedicated to nature.
Nature, yeah,
I-
yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
we looked into it with Monroe for a while, and the guy said, well, yeah, but you'd have to pay for them, and you know, it was like this, it was a thing, certified Monroe Animal School.
Mm,
So you can always ask, all you
Yeah.
can say is no.
right, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, but there are definitely other places that a bench could go. We would have to look into the cost too.
right,
And
yeah.
who would handle the physical installation?
Right, well, that's why I'm saying at ShopRite, the bench
The
at
bench is
ShopRite,
there.
it's there, and they
Yes.
just change out the marketing,
Mhm.
on the back of the bench.
Yeah.
They change that out, yeah.
I'm sorry, did you say, do you not know the cost of that yet?
We don't know the cost
Okay.
of that yet, so we wanted to work on the diner first, and
Yeah.
then that's the next one.
If they don't, if that's prohibitively expensive,
Yeah, I don't know.
then if you're interested in the supermarket, you could also talk to them about advertising on like the back of their register receipts and. you know, the
Yeah.
kind of Stuff,
Yeah, or maybe like the dividers
yeah, and that,
between grocery, people.
depending on I mean, it could be like $500 for 4 weeks. I don't know if
Right.
that's expensive or not, you know.
Yeah, yep, but we're trying to find different places where, we'll get the most bang for our buck.
All right, I think we're down to organization reports and special committees, of which we have not had a meeting in ages because we were well received. So, old business, professional development. Nobody?
I completed mine, I should be good.
You what?
I completed mine, but we have to redo the,
Yes, every
Yeah,
year,
sexual
sexual harassment
harassment.
every year, yeah.
I have to do them all.
I haven't done it either.
I think now that the Koha migration has happened, our CLS is now starting to put more back on the calendar, so you'll have to go and look. Also remember that, Niche Academy, which is their platform, they have some passive, board of trustee ones that are specific to you guys, that you could also count towards your 2 hours.
RCLS sent out an email today.
Oh, okay.
I didn't have a chance to look at it.
I did the sustainable libraries one last January. I never heard anything from anybody.
You never got a certificate or anything like that?
no, I don't, they say
Yeah.
that they're just gonna send it to you.
I never get any certificates. I get
or
a
maybe-
report, who's done what,
Cool. That's
but
fine.
I haven't gotten any certificates or anything.
Well, I would take a
January,
page
yeah.
shot of the last page
Yeah.
saying that you completed it and send it to.
Well, I go
them.
to the in-person, like the
The,
online.
oh, yeah.
That
Yeah.
they do in person.
I
Okay.
did one on security also.
I don't know. Well,
That
we can
was-
follow up.
Yeah,
We
that
can
was
follow
when
up
I
and
was in
find out.
Florida, so it was in
Okay.
Email.
Yeah,
February or March, early April, I don't remember.
all right, okay.
And I want credit.
Mhm.
Would you get credit for your construction grant workshop?
I don't
I
I
think
don't
that
know if
was-
it counted
No, I
towards
don't
that.
think that-
No, I don't think
no.
so. I think they explicitly said it didn't count.
I'm
I
pretty
didn't
sure
think
they
it's
did.
that for board member meeting.
Well, it's a nice thought. I appreciate it, but it's not like I have so many things to do that I can't take the time to do this. I've just suddenly become ambivalent about sitting in front of my computer after all the years of sitting in front of my computer all the time.
Uh,
Can I ask a question?
Yeah,
What are the requirements of the board member on the lot, for the library? I mean, I hear you have PDs, so is there fingerprinting?
No.
No.
You said sexual harassment, 15.
Correct.
Things like that.
Mhm.
Well, what else? Like, you meet how often? I hear about a lot of committees now. Like, what,
Not bad.
I'm retired.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm retired.
We like-
Monthly meetings.
Yeah, but you're in.
Yeah.
You're in. The committees are as you sign up for your areas of expertise or things you're interested in doing, you'll get a list of the committees that we have and you can
Well,
Find out the
everybody's on
effect.
fundraising.
fundraise.
Fundraising and nothing gets done.
But some are also not as
Right.
don't meet as often, like long range plan, we haven't met in almost 2 years, but now we're
Correct.
trying to start to think about our future. That committee kind of picked up again, so it depends on what's going on.
And
Yeah.
here's a list of the committees, Kathy is,
Yes.
right? Nominating, which Diane is the chair of. Building and Grounds, Susan's the chair of. Her husband is into construction and things, right?
He's a handy guy. so.
He's a handy guy.
He actually got consultants.
So he,
I need them.
so it's not onerous. Bylaws, Terry is the chair.
Yeah.
And it's only when we change something in the bylaws
Mhm.
that anybody who is on the committee would need to meet. Or if you,
a year.
Yeah, finance once a year when
your
we're working on the budget.
fundraising, I put everybody on the fundraising committee because nobody wants to do it and we need to come up with good ideas. And.
We need a
you know,
leader for that committee.
What was that?
We need a leader for that committee.
Yeah, it's not me, cause I'm not. But, yeah, we need somebody who's gung ho, who has some dynamic ideas about how to raise money. Well, it's interesting. I met, for lunch with, Lisa Mitchell from the community, and she was talking about, something where you put a certain amount of money into a fund. And then, you didn't touch the principal, but it kept on growing. And it sounded like it would be a good fundraiser. It might be worth investigating. She said there were people on her, board or involved in it who, would come and talk to us. If I could ask for more information about that and see.
Mm.
If we had people who wanted to make a donation of a certain amount, I'm not explaining it very well, but. Cause I don't know very well what she
Mhm.
Why
was.
don't you ask them to come and do a presentation?
Yeah, I'll get in touch with Lisa. What you were saying basically was, I think that you had a fund, like say she started $5,000 that people would put money into, and then, it would accrue, and that's how you would make money.
Oh, I see.
Why
So
do
the
you make it
library,
so
You make it sound great.
so the library would keep the interest.
Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah.
I see what you're
Okay.
saying.
thank you. You've got a
Okay.
better idea than I do.
Right.
I'd
But
love
I-
to hear more.
So it's
No.
not a
No.
use time.
No.
No.
Right.
No,
Yeah, that's
more
what we're
informed,
saying.
I would love to hear more informed, detailed information.
In the future.
On that one,
At
yes.
another day.
Yeah.
Not now.
Grants,
Jeez,
Yeah.
Terry.
Grant,
Diane is the chair of grants.
You were
and-
gonna send me the information for logging into the Walmart account.
I didn't need to
Oh,
because
that's-
Diane created it.
Diane's done nothing.
Okay.
We see where you are.
You've
Uh,
got babies in your head.
yes.
Then we have long-range planning, which is Nakula is the chair of, and that's where we're looking forward to the future to plan for a larger building. Public relations, it has not been as active a committee because we have a full-time person on staff who's handling public relations.
Public relations, I look at that as mainly public relations of things that the board is doing.
Yeah.
Rather than what the library as a whole is doing. That's
Right.
Elizabeth.
Yeah.
if we come up with a project or something, I would probably expect to be the point
Yes,
person on
yes.
that.
Right.
But,
That's a good way of putting
but
it.
the Friends is an example
Mhm.
of
Public relations, yeah,
that our committee worked on.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, yes, Mike.
You mentioned that you would put something on somebody else's table, reaching to the library.
Mhm.
I think that's a mistake.
I'm sorry?
I think that's a mistake, libraries are the last bastion of democracy.
Mm-hmm.
We have a lot of states and public libraries removing books
Mm-hmm.
from the shelves, and we ought to advertise that. Now, I have a canopy, which you're welcome to use, whether I get elected or not. You're welcome to use if you come up with something, I don't know, in that vein, that the library is important. It's.
I'm very big on the question of censorship and
Yeah.
book banning, but I am going to say that in this community, I do not think it's the time to start having discussions about how places are banning books, because I don't think we need to put this into the public eye at this moment any more than it already is on the news. People are looking at it as, this is happening somewhere else. And there, I know there was a very ugly incident at Nyack Library with something about that. And
About banning books.
Yeah.
there was people who were going in and harassing library staff. And I strongly feel that we do not need to start bringing it up because.
Don't poke
it's
the bear.
Yeah, exactly. Don't poke the bear.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's very provocative. It's very important. It is not an issue here at
No.
this time.
In fact, we have people who support.
So what was helpful was putting stuff on the table, that's what you made reference to, like putting the calendar of events
Right.
in different places in our community, being that tables at festivals or whatever. I think
Correct.
That's what you were.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's what the
Which is a great idea.
right, the conservation committee is all they're
Yeah.
putting out is our calendar of events for September. That's it.
So, getting back to your point, it doesn't belong, it's not happening here.
Correct.
Not happening
No.
here.
Mm-mm.
New York shooting. But they're happening all over the place.
But
And-
we don't need to be the arbiter of everything cultural.
Everywhere else.
And again, I think not poking the bear is very much the appropriate,
Well, I yield to the.
well,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's I
Me
sent
too.
an article to the board about a school librarian and what she has undergone because of these
Yeah.
horrible people
there
who
was another one that came up shortly after that too.
really,
Yeah, the one that I saw, she lost her job, but she actually was by that time working for the Brooklyn Library online because she actually, she did this in her classroom. She had a thing saying, these are the books they don't want you to read. This one, I think she was in Oklahoma, and because they came
I don't know.
very close together. And again, I admire her, but this is definitely, because this community can be very weird about stuff like that.
And I will say that we don't ignore it. We definitely support Banned Book Week, which is coming up.
Yeah.
We do a display every year for Banned Book Week. We share content on our social about it. But we don't have to hit the pavement about it because we're very
Yeah.
fortunate that our community actually, I've shared this before, several community members have come to me and said, if you ever have a challenge, reach out to me. I support the library and the freedom to read.
Well, that's
So we're very
wonderful.
fortunate in that respect.
And also there
Yeah.
is some very
Yeah.
much stricter rules about handling the request to ban books in this area, because I had questioned Amanda about that some time ago. It's not like places where in Texas and I think Florida, one person complains about a book and boom, it's off the shelf.
No, there's a procedure. We
Yeah.
have a policy in place.
Yes,
Yeah.
Okay.
you have a material selection
Because
policy.
I read that, they took a book of Shakespeare. Romeo and Juliet because of the sexual connotations.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know, I mean.
they finally had to take the Bible out because, of the same thing. These people are ridiculous.
Can we move on?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We need
how
to move
about
on.
sex and violence?
Good and
There's
welfare.
plenty of-
I don't think Stephen King is appropriate reading for young children.
And yet we all read him.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't a child when it came out, so sorry, dear youngster.
I read one, I knew I didn't have to get the kids, you know, push them to read it, so I read one, that was enough. Okay, old business, we did, new business, any new business, are you having any more grandchildren? Okay.
No.
And nobody's getting married,
I retrieved one of my crochet hooks from the recliner that ate two. The other one is, the other one is lost forever.
what did you do?
Did you get on her crochet book on the couch?
My recliner ate two of my crochet hooks.
I must say.
There's an
you lead
intro to crochet
exciting life.
There, there is an inter-crochet program happening
Where?
here. I don't know.
I
So
didn't see
intro
that
to
in.
crochet is happening on the 24th.
Oh,
And of September, and interestingly enough, a patron who saw this emailed and said, I'd love to see you guys start a crochet club. If there's any interest, let me know. So at this Basics to Crochet, which is already has a wait list, Susan's gonna ask them if they'd be interested in a crochet club. So,
I would join that crochet club.
Susan, I was wondering if it was.
I actually finished.
oh,
I'm
okay.
working on a vest for my.
Right, okay, yeah, I don't know, I'm sure, yeah.
All
Yeah.
right,
All right.
we're off task here, I need a vote, a motion to adjourn.
I move that we adjourn.
I second.
All in favor?
Wait, who's second?
Everybody,
Terry.
everybody,
Nada,
Nana?
that's
I
pretty,
second.
pretty color.
I know,
Okay, no,
it was unanimous. Oh,
we haven't voted yet.
yes, we did.
We're getting
No
punchy.
discussion.